I really did not think that I was going to be making this video. I thought that this video was going to be going much differently, but here we are at this point. So let's dive into it. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I purchased the Oura Ring, and it was after a lot of like hemming and hawing about it, probably like 4 to 5 months of just really thinking about if I wanted to spend the money on it, really. But we finally did it. And I had a ton of people asking for like a review on it or for my opinions on it, because I think a lot of the reasons why I wanted to get it and some of my initial hesitations, I think a lot of people were other people were experiencing that too. Like I said, I really thought that this review was going to go a lot different than it's going to go, but let's just dive into it. So I think it's important to start with the reasons why I wanted the ring in the first place, because that sort of gives a better, more fair or accurate analysis as to whether it may or may not be a good fit for you, depending on what your reasons are for wanting to have it. The main reason that I wanted to get the ring was for fertility tracking. I had heard that it was very accurate at reading like basal body temperature, and it was really just easy to do. You just wear the ring and it can predict your cycle. So that was the main reason for me why I wanted to have it. A couple like secondary reasons, and they were more just for like maybe curiosity's sake, I guess, was for sleep. I was interested in what my sleep is like. And just a little background info, if you don't know, I have 3 kids, 5 and under. And so, I mean, you can kind of like already imagine what my sleep is like, but I was curious, just to see what the app had to say about that. And then also a third reason, and was not a big reason, again, just more of a curiosity thing. I was interested in movement, step tracking, that kind of thing. So the 3 main reasons were fertility tracking, sleep tracking, and then steps too. Because I totally want to be fair about this, let's talk about what I liked about the ring, because there were a few things. Let's find out what they were. I wrote them down. Oh yeah, so one of the main reasons was the temperature tracking. It was so easy. It was so easy. You just wear the ring to bed and you wake up and it tells you if it was slightly more spiked than normal or slightly lower than normal. I can see how if you were a, habitual ring wearer, how that would make tracking fertility very, very easy for you. So I also was really impressed by the accuracy of the like sleep versus wake windows. There were actually a couple of nights where I either was like woken up by one of my kids and I happened to check the time, like right when I was woken up, or there were a couple of nights where I actually had to set alarms in the middle of the night. And so I knew exactly what time that was at. And when I would go to check that in the morning to see like what the Oura Ring had tracked, it was like to the minute. It was like actually like shocking how spot on accurate the sleep data was. A third thing that I really liked about it was just the fact that it was cute. Like it looked really cute on my hand. I really liked it. It just was like had a very cute aesthetic to it. It was a gold one that I got, but I imagine all of them, just depending on whatever your metal preferences, I'm sure they're all super cute and aesthetic. And then the last thing was that the app was like pretty user friendly. It was easy to use. I'm in my early 30s and I'm like pretty tech savvy, but I'm not up on the latest trends or anything. But I found that the app was very user friendly, and gave very clear, easy to interpret data, which was really nice. So now let's chat about what I didn't love. So when I got the ring, I did come into this with the idea of like, okay, this is a boatload of money to spend on this ring, and I'm already not sold on this whole monthly subscription thing. So I really was like going to just be very mindful of how I felt about the ring for the first couple of weeks, because there's a 30-day window where you can return it. And I definitely wanted to love the ring and make sure that everything that I was going to use it for was actually going to benefit me and be helpful to me and worth the money before, letting the 30-day window lapse and then being so about it. I can see how it would be very helpful for some people, but for me, I ended up returning it. No one is more shocked than me about that. I really thought I was going to love it, but let's get into the whys. So because I was mainly wanting to use this to track fertility, that was the data that I cared the most about. However, the app needed 60 days to accurately be able to predict fertility, give you full cycle insights, and just basically like giving you all the data that you would hope to have to decide if this were like working well for tracking fertility for you or not. The app needed 60 days. Well, there's a 30-day return window. So how am I supposed to decide if this is giving me like good data that's going to benefit me for the long haul if I only have 30 days to decide? I don't know. That part rubbed me the wrong way. And like really it was unfair both for the user but then also for them too, because I mean ultimately if I had had a full 60 days and had been able to see all of those insights, like I very well may have kept the ring. Like that, having that window would have been so nice to be able to just accurately determine if it were worth it or not. And of course, like if the ring does need 60 days to accurately predict the data, that's great. But then you should give people 60 days to return the ring. But ultimately, no, I felt really rushed to make a decision because the 30-day window was coming up. And if we missed it, it was, we were going to be out a lot of money. So that was really disappointing. Another thing that really irked me was the subscription. And I was already waffling about this subscription. So the ring is expensive on its face. The ring is expensive. But then in order to get pretty much any data worth having, in my opinion, you have to pay a $5.99 per month subscription fee. I hate subscriptions. I hate them. Can't stand them. I stomached it. I was like, if this is worth it, then I will pay, $6 a month to feel confident in our family planning. Worth it to me. Come to find out that if you want to sync it up to natural cycles, which I did, you also have to pay a subscription to natural cycles. And I was blindsided by this, but that's, I guess, my own fault. I didn't look closely enough into, what syncing the apps, the Oura app and the natural cycles app would look like financially. So yes, that's on me. But what it seemed like to me was that you could use the natural cycles app and they have a thermometer that you can use to track your BBT. And all of that can just do it on its own. It seems like it's just like if you happen to have the Oura Ring and you're already using it, feel free to sync it up to the Natural Cycles app because the ring can also track your BBT. You don't need to use them together necessarily, but it seems very powerful to use them together. But after further reflection, I was like, why, if I'm not totally in love with the Oura Ring for purposes outside of fertility tracking, why would I not save myself the cost of the Oura Ring and save myself the extra monthly subscription to Oura and just use natural cycles? Moving along off of the fertility, I also ended up finding that the sleep data and the movement data, I really just didn't care about. Like I said, I have 3 young kids and my sleep is what it is. My kids are up in the night, I'm probably going to be up in the night. You know what I mean? Like there's really not much that I can do about the sleep that I'm getting that can be fixed with conscious effort or fixing my daily habits and stuff. And so seeing the sleep data, I was like, okay, yeah, I could have told you that I slept like crap last night. If you're even moderately in tune with your body, I feel like the sleep data is just kind of telling you what you already know. So to me, it really wasn't worth it. And then the steps, I ultimately didn't care about at all. And one other thing to note about steps, and it wasn't me personally, but my best friend got the Oura Ring around the same time that I did. And she and I were talking about it, comparing notes a little bit. And she said, she's got a young one at home as well. And she said that she wanted to get the ring. One of the reasons was to track steps because she gets money from her insurance at work. But she was finding that when she was pushing a stroller, the steps weren't being counted. So again, that's not my personal experience, but it is maybe something important to note. So my closing thoughts are, I ultimately, I think I really got just swept up in the hype of the Oura Ring. I just saw it everywhere. I heard really, really great things about it. For me, for the price point, for the continuing price that it would continue to cost, it just was not worth it. I can see if monthly subscriptions are not a factor for you, if you don't care about that type of thing, it could definitely be an advantageous thing to have. It would make your life a lot easier if you're looking for it for fertility. Tracking the BBT just on your finger, like you wake up and you don't have to do a thing to track your basal body temperature, like that is awesome. And so I can absolutely see how it would be worth it for that. Also, if you're somebody who cares about your sleep and wants to like set better habits and like kind of habit track, work to improve your sleep, I can absolutely see how it would be great for that. Again, that's just like not the season of life that I'm in, but I can absolutely see how it would be helpful for someone who's trying to, improve their sleep. Same goes for steps. If you're trying to, walk more or work out more, it might be a nice tool for that as well. But you guys have to let me know what your experience was with the Oura Ring. Was it worth it? Was it not worth it? What were you using it for? Let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear them.